Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. I hope you're getting ready to enjoy the weekend to the fullest. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. That being said, tonight's discussion is going to be, should customers be allowed to self-diagnose? And this could also be said for, should service writers be allowed to diagnose customers' vehicles in the drive? Two completely different situations. However, both of them are still an annoyance to the mechanic in the shop. Let's talk about the customer first, then we'll talk about my problem with service writers diagnosing in the drive. Okay, problem one. As far as customers being able to self-diagnose. Look, I get it. There's a lot of smart cats out there. Maybe you did your research. Maybe it's a known repair. Maybe you even have access to service information like Identifix or AllData or Chilton or something like that. You got together with a friend of yours that had been wrenching for a long time, whatever the case may be, and you think you've diagnosed the problem properly. You bring it in and you supply the part, or you have the part purchased from that particular shop or vendor and have them proceed with the repair. Then it doesn't fix what your initial problem was. So you throw another part at it, and that doesn't fix the problem that you brought it in for. So you throw another part at it, and so forth and so forth. And you're just guessing at this point and hoping that you eventually reach the conclusion that you were after to begin with, which is fix my fucking car. It happens, guys. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've had customers come in wanting to supply their own parts. I've had customers come in with their own diagnostic troubleshooting that they've done on their own, however they ended up doing it, and said, this is what I've read and this is what it has to be. Please put this part in my car. So, of course, you know, not every shop, but some shops will agree to do that, especially independents over dealers. Dealerships, not so much. Independent shops, hey, if that's what you want, you have to sign this waiver that states that, you know, there's no warranty behind it. You're supplying your own parts, and you understand that this could potentially not fix the issue that you actually have. You understand that, and of course they sign the bottom line, and turns out didn't fix it, and now they want to. So how much is too much before you realize that sometimes you just need to have the shop or some kind of professional actually go through and do the diagnostic troubleshooting for you? Let's say that the diagnostic fee costs anywhere between $180 and $125. Let's say the part that you purchased for your computer, or no, let's say the part that you purchased to fix the problem was more than the diagnostic fee, $80 to $125. Let's go furthermore. Let's say that you ended up throwing a computer at it because you thought that's what it was, and it's now like $1,500 or $1,000. You know, there's a lot of extremes there, but that's why I said let's just say that, hey, you wanted to change, like, I don't know, the thermostat out with the thermostat gasket, plus, you know, pay for labor, and now you're supplying your own part, but you had to pay for that part at some point. So let's say it's what, 15 to 20 bucks for a thermostat, maybe $3 to $5 or $6 for the gasket, unless it came with it, which, you know, some thermostats don't come with a gasket, so now you gotta supply the gasket if it doesn't have it. And then, of course, you gotta pay at least half an hour or 1 hour of labor, so let's just say it's 1 hour of labor. You're already over that $100 threshold as it is, so if that doesn't fix the problem that you're having, which could be overheating or lack thereof, you're still not fixing the problem, but you're throwing parts at it and hoping that it'll fix the problem because that's what you've read or that's what you've been told. That can be a huge problem. Also, now going towards service writers diagnosing in the drive. They plug a scan tool, they see a code, they recognize the vehicle, the year, the make, the model, whatever. Let's say they're really familiar. Let's say it's even dealership familiar mentality, where they've seen this repair over and over and over, and hands over and over and over, and they say, oh yeah, it needs an oil pressure sending unit. That's the code, and that's what it usually ends up being. So that's what we're gonna tell you, that's what the problem is. So they'll say, hey, yeah, look, it's a common repair. This is the code. we should start there. Okay, they pay for the part, they pay for the labor, they avoided the diag fee, because as a service writer you'll cut that out to save the customer money, unless you're you know, a little bit swindly, then you'll charge them even still. And then of course you throw the part at it, it doesn't fix the problem. Then you're like, well, my tech got it wrong, etc., etc. The tech didn't diagnose the car, you did in the drive. And then you brought it in and it didn't fix it, and now you're trying to backpedal to cover your own ass, which is not fair to the mechanic or the technician in the shop that had to do the repair that you recommended. So that can be a problem. That can be a problem not only just for the service writer, but for the dealership, the mechanic, the you know, customer, turning around and going and putting their review on your shop or your dealership saying, hey, they charged me X amounts. They said it was going to be this. It wasn't that. They ended up having to charge me for diag fee. They ended up having to charge me for the correct part. It took them 2 or 3 days to do it. So you're going to get a bad rap. And the bigger and badder rap you get, the less likely people are going to come to your shop or service department to be fixed, have their car fixed. Guys, I'm telling you, always start, if you're a shop owner or you're a service writer and you're listening to this, or you're a mechanic and you're listening to this, if you're a mechanic, I'm sure you're going to agree with me. If you're a service writer though, or a general manager, or you're a shop owner and the vehicle's being diagnosed by a non-certified, you know, technician or mechanic out front and being taken care of and then brought in, or you're allowing the customer to diagnose their own problems and then bringing the vehicle in, you got to understand 2 things. 1, you just cost the shop money because it's going to take a little bit longer than what was expected to fix the car to begin with. 2, you just made your business decrease as far as like how the customer feels your competency is at. So they're going to go through their, even by word of mouth, and word of mouth is still strong. It might not be as strong as the internet nowadays as it used to be, but word of mouth is still strong. They're going to tell their friend, who's going to tell their friend, who's going to tell their aunt, who's going to tell their uncle, who's going to tell their cousin, who's going to tell their grandmother not to come to your shop because you either A, misdiagnosed it, or B, didn't fix their car. So if you guys agree with me, feel free to hit the thumbs up. If you disagree with me, hit the thumbs down. Put it down in the comments. Have you run into situations like this? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that customers should be allowed to diagnose their own vehicle prior to bringing it in? Do you agree that service writers should be able to diagnose the car in the drive based on recommended repair practices or similar repair practices that they've seen? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Doses.